Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So Meghan Markle has struck again and she has given a little speech regarding voting and women voting in the upcoming election in the USA that is going to be within the next 75 days. She has taken part in a virtual summit that has been organised by Michelle Obama. It was called the When All Women Vote Couch Party, which was an online event organised by a non-profit organisation, When We All Vote, which was founded by Michelle Obama, Miss Obama herself. She was preaching again, and I watched a clip of what she said on YouTube, and I'm starting to see a pattern with her speeches. Every time I watch one of Meghan's speeches, she never really gets to the point. She's very aloof. I'm always left with the question mark as to what exactly is she talking about? Who exactly is she really trying to reference? And what is her main goal with what she said? It just seems to be a big ball of fluff. And I'm actually genuinely being honest. She wants to jump in on this political stance and this political career. But what changes would she make? What would she actually do? What is her value? What are the main issues that she feels need to be dealt with immediately? Yeah, we need to vote. Got that. Vote for who? I know that she's limited with what she can say, but she doesn't even really steer or direct to a specific point. She said women need to vote, and she brought up this quote from the suffragettes and why our votes count and how every vote counts. Okay, yeah, that's really great, but vote for what and for who? I just find that she consistently kind of does this. Maybe she still has limitations as to how much she can say politically, but she's done everything else. She's not a senior member of the royal family. She could be more constructive with the time that she spends talking. Her last speech that she done alongside Michelle Obama, she spoke for the longest and she was talking for 8 minutes. So I'm going to get into the article, and it says here, Meghan made a bold plea to women across the US to take part in the upcoming presidential election, speaking out about the need for change at an online voter summit while telling participants, if we aren't part of the solution, we are part of the problem. What changes is she really looking for? The 39-year-old made her stance on the 2020 presidential race incredibly clear when she addressed viewers at the When All Women Vote Couch Party, an online event organised by, I already said it, but Michelle Obama. Appearing as the opening speaker at the summit, Meghan expressed her excitement at taking part before telling those involved with the organisation, we need your work now more than ever. I'm really thrilled that you asked me to be a part of this. The mother of one began, adding, I think this is such an exceptional time and I am happy to be here for my friend Michelle Obama, When We All Vote, and to kick off the When All Women Vote Couch Party. Speaking directly to the volunteers and workers tuned into the summit, Meghan continued, it is fair to say that we are all very grateful for your work because we need it now really more than ever. Although the Duchess of Sussex has not named the candidate that she plans to vote for in the election, she made it incredibly clear that she believes there needs to be a change to the current administration, warning summit participants that there is so much work to be done before they cast their votes. Work on what exactly? What particular issue are you talking about? Child hunger, poverty, homelessness, displacement, social issues, drug addiction. I don't know, but what is she talking about? When I think about voting and why this is so exceptionally important for all of us, I would frame it as we vote to honour those. Do you see what I mean? We vote to honour those who came before us and to protect those who will come after us. What? Okay, so we vote to honour those, right? Yeah, okay. I understand that bit. We vote to honour those. So for those who fought for the right to vote, yeah. But what are they voting for, Meghan? What do you want them to vote for? What are we trying to change? Because that's what community is all about, and that's specifically what this election is all about. Okay. She talks in riddles. I think that she does this on purpose to leave the person who is consuming her content questioning what is going on. We're only 75 days away from election day. Okay, that's a fact. And that is so very close. And yet there is so much work to be done in that amount of time, because we all know what is at stake this year. What's at stake? Well, I guess Americans are possibly afraid of having another term of Trump, but a lot of people like Trump. So some people are afraid, a lot of people aren't. And then she carried on to say, I know it. I think all of you certainly know it. And if you're here on this fun event with us, then you are just as mobilised and energised to see the change that we all need into. Okay. Carries on to say, the Duchess of Sussex then turned her attention to the 19th Amendment, celebrating the 100th anniversary of women's right to vote. Well, that's something that's poignant. While also pointing out the fact that women of colour had to wait decades longer to earn the same right. That's an important point. So I'm not going to knock her on that one. And she says, and as we look at things today, though it had taken decades longer for women of colour to get the right to vote, even today we are watching so many women in different communities who are marginalised still struggling to see that right come to fruition, she said. And that is simply not okay. So I think she's talking about immigrants and people who are new to the country, possibly economic migrants and migrants in the US. Another thing that I find quite contradictory about this is that Meghan hasn't been in the US. She hasn't been a resident for 10 years. And she herself even said that she wasn't surprised by the Black Lives Matter movement because open racial prejudice has always been prolific in American culture, but she was quite astounded that society hadn't moved forward and they still had so far to go. So she's kind of getting reacclimatized still to what is going on exactly in America. She's just moved to a new state, moved to a lovely fancy big mansion paid for by us taxpayers, and it seems as though she doesn't really have much ground to talk about this right now. But I think this is all about her getting her name out there, getting her name in the headlines, and getting her career on the go. So it carries on to say, she continued her speech by blasting attempts at voter suppression, warning the summit that it is more important than ever to support each other and to galvanise one another to keep fighting. When we look at the attempts at voter suppression and what that's doing, it's all the more reason we need each of you to be out there supporting each other, to understand that this fight is worth fighting, and we all have to be out there mobilising to have our voices heard. The former Suits star said. They would have to say that. It's a nice little touch there. This lady from Suits is now telling people what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and why they should do it. She's turned into our new encyclopedia on voting. Meghan then made a personal call to action to all voters, particularly women, to take part in the election, insisting that if we aren't a part of the solution, we are part of the problem. Get more specific, Megsy. You know, I think that would help. If she could get more specific, okay, we understand it took women of colour a longer time to get the right to vote. Okay, that's the point. But what other points are you really going for? What other changes do you really... Ethnic minorities, people who are economic migrants? What is it? And what are you trying to hit at? We are obviously faced with a lot of problems in our world right now, both in the physical world and in the digital world. She keeps on going on about this digital world, and I think that digital media and social media seems to really be irking her, as I've said in previous videos, because she simply doesn't have control over it. She hates to not be in control, and this is really coming across now. She can't stand not having control over people's thoughts and opinions. She's trying to shut down the media, and she's trying to shut down people's freedom of speech, it would seem. But we can and must do everything we can to ensure all women have their voices heard, because at this juncture, if we aren't a part of the solution, we are part of the problem. If you aren't going out there and voting, you are complicit. If you are complacent, you are complicit. I think that's just about all I can pretty much stomach of this. It's as though she just found some kind of word salad, and she's online, she's doing these interviews, she's making these speeches that really don't have a clear direction. On another note, she went for a very simple basic makeup look, no jewelry from what I could see. Hair looked nice in a simple ponytail. I know a lot of people aren't liking the extremely long hair right now. I'm not really sure if it's a weave or if it's her natural hair. I think it's her natural hair, because looking at her childhood pictures, Meghan had an extremely large amount of hair. So I think it's her real hair. I don't know. But that's what she has said. She's banging on. She's telling us what to do. And all I can say is yawn. I'll be back with another video, guys. Bye.